Hey, it's Dr. Winslow. Hope you're doing well. We are about ready to start on week number 3. It's hard to believe that we're just finishing up week number 2. That means we're 1/3 of the way through the class. And by the end of this coming week, you'll be done with half the class. So I encourage you to keep working hard. So this week, I think, has been marked more than anything by bad weather, hasn't it? Here you see, what's nice about the weather today. This is Grumpy Cat. What's nice about the weather today? Nothing. Actually, Sunday today, probably the weather was a little bit nicer than what we've had for the last couple of days. But I'm sure you've been a little bit frustrated by the fact that on your moon log, you've probably had trouble with your moon log in terms of filling that out. Listen, don't worry about it. Whenever the sky is good and clear, you want to go out and check out the moon. But certainly for the last couple of days, I expect you to write cloudy in there underneath your comments and not to fill it out at all, except to write that comment of cloudy. So if you go out tonight, still Sunday night, you might get this before the end of the evening, you should be able to see the moon has changed and it's almost a full moon now, so you want to shade in as much as you can on that circle showing what the full moon looks like, as well as finding the altitude and the azimuth, and write in any comments as well. But I just want to encourage you again as you fill this out that you pay a lot of special attention to your what you're seeing in the night sky, rather than using stellarium to help fudge, what you think you should be seeing. If you don't make an observation, please don't write anything down. You can just say missed it or forgot it. But especially the last couple nights, Friday and Saturday for sure, I expect you to put cloudy in there or something else. Because if you have something in there, I know for sure you've been looking at stellarium. It's just been really bad weather as in the last couple of days. So beyond that, let's take a look at what we have coming up in week 3. Now, we just got done with week 2, where one of the things we talked about was your favorite constellation. I thought I might just go ahead and jump out of this for a second and take a look at stellarium so that I can show you my favorite constellation. I'm looking forward to reading your forums. I'll probably do that over the next couple of days. I've already finished grading week 1 form, so you're starting to accumulate some points there. But my favorite constellation for sure is this one that's down here called Cassiopeia. You notice we're looking towards the north here. And right now, Cassiopeia, actually, it turns out that it's the queen. She's a queen. If we turn on, take a look right here, you can see there's a little queen. She's upside down on her chair right there. But I like it because it's a W, right? And then if you let time run on and are pretty patient with the time, then about 12 hours from now, because Cassiopeia is a circumpolar constellation, that means it doesn't set below the northern horizon. Now it's in the shape of what? M. So you can see why it's Dr. Winslow's favorite constellation, the M and the W. It's just perfect. Of course, I've turned the sky off. It's the middle of the day right here. But still, the fact that it's an M and it's a W, I think is a pretty cool constellation, at least for me. So let's go back and take a look at some of the things that we need to work on this week. First of all, I just want to encourage you, as you've been working on Galileos Discovery, whether you finish that yet or not, I just want to encourage you to do a really good job on that. Make sure you follow the directions carefully. You're supposed to write in the moons of Jupiter on several occasions there in Galileo's own notes. But in particular, I'll give you a good chunk of that grade on your reflection in the very last page of Galileo's Discovery of the moons of Jupiter in stellarium. So make sure you do a good job at the very back of that page. Now, as we start this week, we're thinking a lot about the upcoming test. And so the forum for this test has to do with you posting a question from your readings towards the end of the week. And then as people post, you can respond to their questions with your own answer, if you will. Now, I'll jump in on occasion, especially as we get towards the coming weekend, the first full weekend in February. But you're supposed to post questions that you have on the material, and other people are supposed to jump in and give their responses with maybe follow-up from Dr. Winslow as needed. I do want to show something that's really a mistake here. Unfortunately, I don't have the Word document and can change this. It's a PDF, so it's kind of unchangeable. But at this point right here, I just want to delete this part that you can see. It says respond to post up to Wednesday, April 18th, and that's obviously incorrect. Let's see, this Wednesday would be February 1st, 2nd, 3rd. That should be February the 10th, not Wednesday, April the 11th. It should be Wednesday, February the 10th. So that's just a mistake. Obviously, the class is even over by then, so you can readily understand. Get 10 points for actually posting, and then another 10 points for responding to somebody else's post. But you got to do a good job. Give a good answer. Maybe put in some pictures that you might find off the internet as an explanation, or just do a good job explaining so you can get some good points, up to 20 points for this post that you need to do. And then this week is not really heavy. It does have to do with the moon, and it has to do with the Earth. The Earth section is probably relatively simple. You're going to watch a great little video on the Earth section. It's called the interior motive video. You can see that right here, and then you can take a little quiz for some additional points. Now, you can see how you're gaining points here. Certainly you're gaining some points and so forth as you work along. It's kind of curious for me to see that some people have already earned as many as 50 plus points. You recall that you can do as many activities as you want to earn up to 100 points. Some people are already like 50, 55, 57 points. That's great, and that's true only by week number 2, which is fantastic. There's some worksheets that you'll be turning in, and I haven't graded yet, and those will continue to add to your points. So I want to encourage you to keep working on these points. When you get to 100, you're basically done in terms of these activities. You can do more, especially as you're thinking about trying to understand the material, but get at least up to 100 points. And I want to congratulate those that have worked really hard on getting at least 50 plus points right now. You can look in your grade book underneath the individual activities, and if you're like in 20 or 30, it's not that you're behind, it's just that you should be working quite a bit harder to get those points up to 100. So I want to encourage you to do that. Some people have set the bar pretty high at this point by getting 50 points. So you'll really enjoy the interior motive worksheet, I think, and then also you'll do a moon orrery and horizon sketch worksheet. That's going to help you a little bit for the test, and then you can take a quiz. And then if you want to, there's a short little moon flipbook activity, which is pretty awesome. One nice thing you'll see here about week 3, as you're really working on getting ready for the test, is there's no stellarium exercises. So we take a little bit of a break from that. The moon activity, or the moon section, is actually a pretty good sized section. And so you'll find that the moon section is one that it'll take a while for you to plow through. So don't wait till the last minute. Now, I'm going to give you more information. You can see here's test 4 that is starting like towards the end of this week or the beginning of week number 4. And you'll get an opportunity then to take your test towards the weekend if you want to do it online. But most likely I'll give you an opportunity to actually take your test at SNU and in a pre-described time that I'll give to you. Maybe it'll be a Monday night, from 9 to 11 o'clock. I'll have it pretty late so that it'll be convenient for you. Maybe I'll give you 1 or 2 opportunities, at least one opportunity to take it on campus to save you the trouble of having to do it online. But anyway, more information will be coming about that towards the middle of this week so that you can take it either online or take it with me as soon as I set a time. So your focus this week needs to be on getting caught up on your material, making sure you work your way through both the Earth and the Moon section with just a couple of activities, and then to start studying for test number 1, which is at the end of this coming week, the weekend, or like Monday and Tuesday, maybe as late as Wednesday of next week, again, February the 10th. So please pay good attention to that. Now, I did notice in reading your forms for week 1, a lot of you talked about how much you are looking forward to learning more about the constellations. And I just thought I might highlight a great set of constellations in the sky. If you turn to the very back of your book, not in the stellarium section, but in your own narrative section, there are some things back there in terms of memorizing or learning the night sky. So here's the screenshot from Stellarium, and you can see some of my favorite constellations right here. Betelgeuse, Bellatrix, Rigel, Safe, Orion's Belt. Here we have Sirius up above. We'll have Procyon. And Orion's Belt here is a great pointer set of stars, if you will, to Sirius. You go in the opposite direction, you hit Aldebaran, which is part of Taurus to Bull. And then right there in the middle of Taurus to Bull is the Pleiades. And so if we go down to this page, it's actually found towards the end of your book. This is a great set of stars and constellations that you can memorize. This is looking towards the south, and actually at this point probably it's around 9:45 p.m. on a Sunday night right now, this is what you'd probably see towards the south somewhat at this very point in time. And so if you want to memorize your constellations, this is a great place to start with Orion and those 4 stars I read earlier, as well as the belt. Again, take a look down here and you can see Sirius is in one direction, go the other direction. You have Aldebaran, which is a beautiful red giant star, part of Taurus the bull. There's the horns of the bull right there. And keep going a little bit straighter or further away from Aldebaran, you hit the Pleiades, which we'll learn about later on in class. Up above here is Auriga, and Capella is a nice bright star. And of course the Gemini twins here. I don't show the rest of the body, but these are the 2 twins with Pollux and Castor. So Orion's a great place to start in terms of memorizing some stars of the night sky. You wrote about that yourself on your forums. And so why don't you get started with a great set of stars like Orion. Go to that page in the back of your book and you can get started on memorizing some constellations there if you want to, totally for fun, okay? Now, the last thing I'm going to mention here is this light pollution lab that you should be working on, except that the moon has been out. In fact, I would suggest that you probably can't even work on this for another week, just because the moon is a big light polluter, right? So some of you have emailed me, you've been a little worried, like, what can I do? The moon's out, the weather's been bad. Listen, you still have several more weeks to finish this particular lab and turn in your paper. Technically, everything is kind of due right at the end of the semester for this light pollution lab, so you have plenty of time. In about a week or so, the full moon will change to about a 3rd quarter, and it won't rise until midnight. And so you can have a moon-free sky after about a week. February 10th or maybe February the 15th or 20th, you can have a moon-free night if you go out after sunset and try to make your measurements before midnight. So again, just kind of hold on, if you will. Don't get too panicky about the light pollution lab. You'll get a chance to be working on that in about another week. Why don't you focus this week anyway on the first test that's coming up. Now, there is a good link at the website about the test. I know you're probably worried about the test, what it's like. Well, I encourage you to go there, look for the information. Just do a search for test 1, on your browser, and it'll take you to that link. And you can download like a sample copy of the test, where I have many, many questions there that are similar to what you might find on the test. The test is 100 questions. It's multiple choice. I'm not saying that's easy. Dr. Winslow's got his PhD in science education, and so I know how to create a good test that challenges you and forces you to think, and then it's a great opportunity for you to show me what you understand. So take it really, really seriously. You're going to do a lot of these activities to help pad your grade, and you want to do well on the test as well. So start taking it seriously now, and by completing your work, filling out your notes, and just having just putting in the time necessary to study and do well on that first test. All right. So I think that's enough for this particular week number 3 that we're getting started. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you for the first time when we have that on-campus testing session where you have an opportunity to take your test, or if you take it online, I'll maybe get a chance to meet you at some other opportunity around campus. So, all right, good luck. Have a great start to week number 3. Email me if you have any questions, and clear skies.